Hi, it's Jankini at HaltonHour, and I'm here with another HaltonHour Features. This time the interview is with Kathy and Tony Haines at Liverpool BA. Kathy and Tony organise business events and exhibitions all over the northwest, particularly four main ones at Liverpool, Manchester, Wirral, and for us the most important one, Halton Biz Fair, coming up in November. So Kathy and Tony are going to tell us all about what happens at their business fairs, so please have a listen and find out how you can get involved as well. So good morning, welcome to HaltonHour. To Kathy and Tony, would you like to introduce yourselves, who you are, what you do, who you do it for? Over to you.
Yeah, I'm Kathy Haines from Liverpool BA, and we organise business-to-business events across the northwest. So we do the Halton and Warrington Business Fair in November. We also do the Liverpool Business Fair, which we've been doing for 20 years now, which is every March in Liverpool Football Club. A Greater Manchester Business Fair in July, and Wirral and Chester Business Fair in September, which is coming up in a few weeks.
I know the countdown is on, isn't it, for Wirral as we speak? It's all go. So you mentioned that you've done Liverpool Business Fair for 20 years now. So is the plans to continue with that and expanding as you go along? Because you've mentioned you do Manchester and Wirral and Halton and Warrington as well. So is the plans to continue with expansion throughout the northwest, or are you quite happy with the chaos and the planning and the madness of getting those out every year?
Well, we're going to concentrate on those four across the northwest for now, and they're like our core events.
Yeah.
Occasionally we'll add in the odd sort of small event, and sometimes a different event as well. So that just depends, but we'll keep sort of those four events as our core events that will sort of carry on every year.
So obviously you're doing Halton and Warrington Business Fair, and that's coming up in November, and I'm made up to be having my lovely banner will be there again this year. Yeah. So how do people go about getting involved in that? What's going on the day?
Well, there's a B2B exhibition, which is the main feature of the event. So we have normally around 45 companies exhibiting on the day. So they're all in the exhibition area showcasing their products and services. And then we also have workshops going on as well on business topics, general business topics, and a networking session, which is hosted by Andy Guile at 1 p.m. So that's just a chance for everybody to get together in a room and talk to each other about what they do.
So it's good that Andy's doing the networking again this year. So that it was really, really interesting trying to tweet that and take photos while I was there last year. Yeah, getting to grips with my phone and the technology. So if people want to exhibit this year, whether it be is Wirral still open for people to get involved?
Yeah, I mean,
for Halton.
Yeah, we've still got probably 4 or 5 spaces left that we can still fit in. So we're nearly sort of full for Wirral. Halton is like sort of a nice big venue. So we're on about sort of 25 odd exhibitors at the moment. We normally get 40, 45. So we're fine for Halton. And people can either contact us directly by email. So they can contact me, Tony, at liverpoolba.com, or they can go onto the website, haltonbizfair.co.uk, and all of the details are on there, and the schedule, and how to sort of exhibit or to book your free visitor tickets as well. It's all on that website.
That's brilliant. So for people who are coming along to exhibit on the day, what tips would you give them for getting the best out of the day?
I think probably sort of book on as early as possible, because that gives you the chance to do a couple of things. Firstly, sort of maybe give like some good thought as to what you want to achieve on the day and how you're going to do it. But certainly from our point of view, it gives us a lot of time to promote an exhibitor's presence at the event. So like we use the social media, we're quite strong on Twitter, and we use LinkedIn and Facebook. And basically, as soon as an exhibitor comes on board, the first thing we do is we set up their own exhibitor page on the event website. So all exhibitors get their own individual page on the event website. So we set that up. And we also start to promote them then as well on social media with like tweets and all sorts of other things. So yeah, I think that's one of the things. The earlier the better. And like have a bit of a think about what mainly you want to achieve from the event, and also let us know if there's something specific you want to achieve from the event. Because like sometimes we can get, say, a manufacturer thinking, well, if we exhibit at this, will we have the sort of the type of footfall that we're looking for? You know, will you get that at the event? And the thing about coming on quite early is we can sort of do posts and promotions which are geared towards attracting specific types of visitor for a specific type of exhibitor. So it's sort of like, you know, again, if the earlier you come on board, the more facilities you've got, and the more benefit you can get from us promoting the presence.
I mean, you do go quite full on with the promotion of your event, because I know, I mean, I'm on Twitter mainly anyway, so you have that rolling really regularly anyway, but you also do your email marketing as well, don't you? So that comes across quite often. So how often do you send the emails out as well?
Well, we've got a database of around about 10,000 firms across the Northwest, and they're people who have either exhibited at an event in the past, or most of them are like people who have visited an event in the past. So it's quite a warm database. What we try and do is we make sure we don't flood it. So when we're sort of like in what we might call the off season, sort of like December, January, we might only be sending out an email once a fortnight. And then sort of like up to sort of like when we say the week before an event, we might send out 2 emails in that week. So it's sort of like it ebbs and flows in terms of the frequency with which we'll send emails out, but we keep in regular touch, but we don't try and flood people. Yeah,
but it's pretty well promoted, isn't it, to make sure that you get some, you know, the footfall that you require coming through. Yeah. So for those of us that are going along, or I say those of us, I'm there anyway, because it's a free event for people to go along and visit. So what's going to be on for Halton and Warrington this year? What are the highlights? You said there's workshops and demos and networking, but what are the highlights this year?
Well, I mean, one of the things is obviously one of the main features is always the B2B exhibition, and we got some good exhibitors and like sort of a good range of exhibitors. So you can get like, you can both sort of potentially get new suppliers from some of those exhibitors. You can also talk to some of them about what type of business support's available. So like say Halton Chamber are there, and they're active in the local area. They sort of like, they act as like an agent for quite a few different business support projects. So you can find out what's going on, how you can get involved. If you're interested in sort of making sort of progress with making your business more green, you can talk to exhibitors like EcoR Northwest and Clean Growth. So like there's that side in terms of the exhibition. The other side of the day, in a way, is like we try and have it as like a free business support day. So we'll have like some of the sessions are designed to help you sort of grow or improve your business. So like we've got one on how to get the most out of LinkedIn. So that's like one where, you know, you might be using LinkedIn a bit, but by going to that session, you can learn more about it and how to get more from it. We've got Andy Guy who's sort of talking about like the psychometric profile of clients, and so like personality types, and sort of how that can affect how you promote and sell your business to people. Chris Roxburgh's there from my marketing guy, and we're just waiting for him to confirm, but he's probably going to be doing one on how to get the balance of your marketing right. You know, there's a lot of different types of marketing you can use these days, but what might be best for you, how best to use it, and things like that. And obviously there's the formal networking sessions, and there's the informal networking, just simply being there on the day, speaking to people, you know, fellow visitors, the exhibitors. So like, it's that. I mean, we try and make the events as like interesting and as useful as possible for visitors. So like, we try and have a lot going on and that people can get benefit from.
I mean, it's quite broad range, the types of businesses that you have there. I mean, it's everything from the smaller businesses right the way up to the corporates and the business support groups, isn't it? Whether it be Halton Chamber or the government-based type people. Is it anyone in particular, business support-wise, that's going to be there that's already confirmed?
Yeah, well, as you say, there's Halton Chamber.
There's Clean Growth UK, Liverpool John Moores University, and the Low Carbon Eco Innovatory, EcoI Northwest. So they're all about supporting businesses with green innovations, green business growth, isn't it? We've got the In Business Ninjas, who Tony mentioned are doing the workshop. So they help businesses with their LinkedIn. Halton Chamber, Anti-Guile as well.
And the Chartered Management Institute, he sort of does a like one-to-one with people on management issues, how to manage your business better, how to sort of like improve yourself as a manager, things like that. So we sort of think if you're running a business yourself, you've got like a lot of hats that you have to wear, and there are things out there that can help you one way or another, whether it's the free sort of government-backed initiatives, or whether it's just things that people do as part of their business as well. For example, you might think, you know, I'm spending too much time on the phone, or I'm not spending enough time on the phone. I like there are people who can do those things. Sometimes it makes sense for you to farm stuff out to make better use of your own time, and so you can make more money. But you know, it just depends. Everyone's different, but it's worthwhile speaking to someone to see whether it's the right time for you to do that.
I know I was chatting to Naomi on a video call earlier for a video for HaltonHour features, and that was one of the things that came up, was just the sheer number of hats that we wear as small businesses, and for her as a new start business, you know, less than a year old, the transition for wearing all these hats is you know, it's quite overwhelming. So which brings me sort of sideways into who wears what hat with Tony and Kathy, who has which hat?
We have about 20 hats that we can wear. I tend to juggle them, and then we see which head the hat lands on. That tends to be what it is.
Share them between each other.
Yeah.
We sort of like, I mean, basically we have a lot of different things that we need to do, and we just share stuff out, really. Some things I'm probably a bit stronger on LinkedIn in terms of the amount of time spent on it than Kathy, who spends much more time on Facebook and Instagram. We're both on Twitter. Some things Kathy will do just by herself, some things I'll do by myself. But yeah, as you say, you just sort of like just have to get it all done. There's only so many hours in a day, you just have to do what you can. Yeah.
So, I mean, you've mentioned social media quite a few times now. What is your favourite platform and why? From a business point of view rather than a personal point of view.
Yeah,
Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, probably Twitter's the one that allows you to most easily compose a message and get it out there, and sort of schedule it, you know, using things like TweetDeck. So I think that's sort of like quite a good one, certainly. And you're more, you use sort of Facebook and Instagram stuff more, don't you?
I do Facebook and Instagram more, but I think in terms of getting business messages out, the type of messages we're getting out, I think Twitter is. I would say Twitter was my favourite.
And that's for business. I mean, I probably quite obvious. I do prefer Twitter myself. So, hence HaltonHour is back. But one of the things that I found quite interesting, shall we put it that way, is the tone of the messages that you can put out and the response to the messages that you put out, because Twitter gets lost really, really quickly in the feeds, doesn't it? I mean, have you got any tips for engagement's not the right term, because you don't need people to like stuff, you do need people to get back in touch with you, so it doesn't matter whether they like it really, but what gives you the most the best quality of feedback of a lead on social media? Is that something that you measure?
It's hard to, I mean, I know you can measure these things, but sometimes it's hard to measure them. I think the approach we tend to have is a lot of the stuff that we put out is informational rather than promotional. I mean, it promotes the events, but it'll be things like what exhibitors actually do and how to find out more. So we won't just constantly be saying, come to our next event with a link to our next event. We will also be out that, you know, a particular exhibitor does X, Y, Z, and a link to their website, as well as maybe a link to the event website. So it's sort of like, I'd say always avoid hard sell, because I think these days I don't think it really works.
I don't think it does.
But I think like giving people information, things that they can look at for themselves, letting them draw their own conclusions. It's sort of like almost like a gentle nudge rather than trying to sort of like push someone through the door.
Yeah. So what's your favourite part of the day? I mean, obviously you've got this massive build up to the event itself. Is it a bit of an anticlimax once you get there, or is there something that you really, really enjoy and you can't wait to get back into it and do another one? Do you have a favourite part of the day?
It's quite funny because like when we were in lockdown, we couldn't do an event for probably 18 months, and then we got, of the event organisers that we know, the event companies that we know, I think we were probably one of the first ones to do an event again last year. So basically this time last year, Whittle and Chester Business Fair was our first event back. And even though it was quieter than it would normally be, because people were just literally getting back, it was good to actually be doing an event again. And you could tell that people were really glad to be out and so like talking to other people face to face. And I think one thing I think we noticed with that first event is possibly almost everybody stayed all day, you know, in terms of the visitors, obviously exhibitors there. So that was sort of like quite good. And I think we probably enjoyed doing that event more than we'd done ones just before the pandemic. You sort of like, I think we sort of like having that break of the pandemic actually recharged our batteries a bit and sort of like made us enjoy events more. So I think sort of strange thing for us is, as you say, on the day of the business fair itself, to a lot of people, that's what their sort of main involvement is. They come along on the day and then they go away. For us, obviously, that's the culmination of like 6 months of leading. So for us, it's good to get there and get the day done. But yeah, we still enjoy it.
And it's good when you get good feedback as well. When people who visited say that it's been really useful for them, they've been to a workshop that they've really enjoyed, or when the exhibitors are really pleased, that's a good part of the day as well.
I mean, you do seem to get quite a lot of repeat exhibitors coming back year after year after year. I mean, have some of them been with you since the beginning, or does it change? Is there a flow?
It's flow, doesn't it? I wouldn't say there's any that's been with us since the beginning. Maybe John Moores University.
Yeah,
and
in some way, shape or form.
yeah, the universities, the different projects. But there's some who've been with us for 4, 5, 6 years now, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's a testament, isn't it, to the success of the event if people are willing to go, to go back and work with you. I mean, particularly after. I mean, I must admit, when I went to the Halton Biz Fair last year, that, like you said, Tony, the biggest thing was actually the face-to-face. I mean, I didn't lock down. I worked right the way through, because obviously my job as a technical manager, the labs don't close. So you've got to be in. I can't have a lab in my kitchen. It doesn't work that way. So I hadn't locked down, but even I was starting to feel the isolation, and for somebody that doesn't do people very well, it was absolutely brilliant to see people coming in and stopping and having a chat and putting faces to the names as well. When you did Liverpool earlier in the year, was there a change? Have we got back to normal? Are people still pleased to get out and about?
Yeah, I think the back end of last year, when we did, because of the lockdown coming out of that, we ended up doing 4 events in 10 weeks, where we'd normally do 4 events over 12 months. So we did that over so like late September to early November last year. And they were all a little bit overshadowed by COVID, in terms of a lot of people would be wearing masks. There was still quite a lot of like caution about, in terms of, like, some people be wearing gloves, there'd be lots of hand sanitizer out and stuff. Once we started getting to Liverpool, I think in March, that was almost gone. I mean, it was an unsafe environment, but just it wasn't the same type of focus, both in terms of from the venue and from like the visitors and exhibitors perspective. So I think from then, I think things have largely got back to normal for us. And funnily enough, actually, on the Wirral exhibition in a couple of weeks, one of the exhibitors is connected to the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, and they're running a support program for any companies that are developing sort of products and techniques to combat sort of infectious diseases.
Right. I'm waiting for the next one to come along. So we'll all be there. Yeah, sort of waiting for it. I don't think so. No, not me personally, anyway. So yeah, I mean, it did surprise me actually on the Halton and Warrington Fair last year. There was still a few people walking around with masks, and I know a couple of people, I was a bit unsure. Do we shake hands? Don't we shake? I personally don't have an issue with it, but other people still did, and it was quite. It was lovely to speak to people, but there was still that awkwardness there, wasn't there? So it's really good to hear that's we've got some sort of normality back. So before we start sort of winding down, because I've just clocked the time and it's 25 minutes past, is how do people get hold of you? What's the main platforms that you're on your website, if you let us know that, and I'll make sure that the links are underneath the video on YouTube and on the website as well.
Yeah, our main website is businessfairsuk.com. All the event details are on there. We've got a website for the Halton and Warrington event, which is a specific website, which is haltonbizfair.co.uk. And then we're at Liverpool BA.fairs on Facebook and Instagram, at Liverpool BA on Twitter. And
hashtag HaltonBizFairs, the individual Twitter for the event.
Yeah.
Fabulous. And you mentioned you're on LinkedIn. Is that as individuals? Do you have a company page for that? We
have both, actually. We have sort of Liverpool BA as a company page, but me, Tony Haines, and obviously Kathy Haines, we're both on LinkedIn as well.
Right, fabulous. Is there anything that particularly that you wanted to talk about before we start to wrap up? Have we missed anything?
No, I mean we'll be sort of like adding in a couple of other sessions over the next couple of weeks, so we'll sort of send details through. And we're also thinking of introducing a special visitor ticket as well, where we'll promote people for a couple of months at no charge. But the condition on it will be that they book using this ticket, but they actually come to the event. So they need to actually come to the event, and then we'd activate it, and we'd sort of give them a few months promotion at no charge, you know, on things like Twitter and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, fabulous. That's a novel way of doing it, isn't it? So we'll go back to that. How, because you've got several accounts on Twitter. I mean, how many followers do you have on those? Do you know?
Altogether, probably about 10,000.
Yeah.
Right.
The main one at Liverpool BA has got about 7,000, and there's a couple of thousand on each of the other ones as well, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's quite a significant sort of promotion then, isn't it? So going that number of accounts. Oh, that's brilliant. Fabulous. So I think we're done, aren't we? Is there anything else you want to bring up?
No, just looking forward to it now, really.
It is now. I must admit, I'm looking forward to it. I might even wear a dress again. So, well, thank you so much for your time and for agreeing to do this. It's been eye-opening and really interesting. Thank you very much. And I'll speak to you soon, and I'll see you in November.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye now.